So I'm Nadia. Right now I work directly for MakerDAO, the protocol, as a facilitator of a core unit. I will explain all of these weird and MakerDAO terms later, but I'm now part of the protocol. I'm a contributor of the protocol as a facilitator of like a business unit or core unit that is called growth. In growth, we help the MakerDAO protocol to grow, to help DAI to be in as many places as we can, to help people to get to know what MakerDAO is and open a vault and generate more DAI and have the greatest ecosystem around. So I'm going to tell you my story from my point of view about the transition from the foundation to a DAO. And this is funny because this is my story, so I can tell you what happened before, because before we were a foundation, part of the foundation, it was a DAO. So the project started originally as a DAO, and the foundation was created just to bootstrap the protocol, which is interesting, because since day one, the foundation, like the idea of the foundation was to have an end. It doesn't matter why, what happened in the future. The idea was to close the foundation at some point because the protocol has to be a DAO. So this, we have like this, this thing that we always say in Maker, strategic patience, because everything we do takes a long time. We debate, we discuss, we plan, we analyze a lot because we really care about the security of the protocol in general, not just like in a technical aspect, but also in different realms, including the legal one. And I think that's why for us decentralization is so important, because if we want to have a stable coin, we also have to be a real DAO, a complete decentralized organization. So this is the story of a careful and gradual approach to find decentralization and become a completely protocol oriented to decentralization. So this roadmap started back in September of 2018 when was the first Maker governance vote. And at the moment, it was super weird because like I wasn't like getting why we are voting for these principles and what does it mean that we have governance tokens and we have to vote. Like it wasn't clear for me at all, because this was the first DAO that I were part of. And actually, I started with crypto just around 2017, so it was weird, all these things about DAOs and governance tokens and voting and all of that. And also it was super weird for me to think about voting for core principles of the Maker protocol. A protocol has principles, but it's interesting because this is the vision, the long-term vision of MakerDAO. And this is like what helps us to know what are the next steps. So first is scientific governance. And going back there, I invite you all, like the goal is that after this presentation, you'll go to forum.makerdao.com and see all the crazy conversations that we have there. Crazy ones, but super interesting, and you learn a lot, because you have to convince other people who are like really smart about why that's the next best thing that the protocol has to do. So you learn a lot just like reading other posts and participating in the conversation, and it's a very good one. So it is scientific because you have to like, you have to prove with facts what you are saying, and with those facts as an input, you are taking decisions. You are proposing things, and everyone is like asking questions and really understanding if that's the way to go. So that's super cool. The second one is serving the underserved. Usually, I hate that phrase because I come from Latin America, and crypto wants to save Latin America. I hate that. And for me, Maker is not trying to help emerging markets. For me, Maker is trying to be an option for the people who are looking to have a better place to live. So it is worried about to be a profitable protocol, but it's worried about the people, to have present options to the people, but it's worried about the planet. And I found that interesting because why in 2018 a blockchain protocol is like caring about the planet, so that's interesting. Then, well, it has to be sustainable, so the protocol itself is sustainable. This is interesting, I don't know if you know, but Maker protocol, it's a profitable protocol. We are looking for collaterals that help the protocol to maintain it in that way. It was, at that time, it was important to have a gradual decentralization because we needed the foundation, we needed that central team to start thinking how to help this DAI thing to grow. At that time, it was single collateral DAI. It was like, we had just like, we didn't have, no, at that time it was like 1 million DAI liquidity in the market. It was nothing. So we really needed to find a way to make to help the protocol to grow. And then, well, driving DAI adoption. And that was amazing because I really feel part of that point because, well, while I was at the foundation, I was leading all the business development efforts for Latin America. And I know there are a lot of Argentinians here in the audience, and DAI is really well recognized in Argentina. Like actually, while I was living in Argentina, it was possible for me to pay my rent in DAI. And I know a lot of Argentinians around the world, like saving their money in DAI and sending DAI to their families and friends. So I think that was important for us. Then during 2019 and 2020, at the foundation, we did a lot of things to bootstrap that, to help the community to start like working for the protocol, but we needed to bootstrap this growth. So that's what during this time, that's when Oasis came. That's when multi-collateral DAI also was launched. I forgot to mention, but during that time, there was also the launching of the DAI savings rate. It was also during that time when Black Thursday happened, and that was the first time that the Maker community and the Maker Foundation worked together to find a solution of that problem. That was super cool. And at the end, the Maker Foundation transferred the Maker token to governance. So that was like the final, not the final, but like one of the main important things towards decentralization. So this period was super important. But what happened next is, okay, now we are super close to destroy the foundation and give everything to the community. But we have to create a framework to help the community to like start doing the things that the foundation was doing. And that's when the foundation created a framework of what to do, how to manage these days that will come when the foundation is preparing to get dissolved. So that's when, in April 2020, there was like this idea about having contributors that are paid by the protocol, helping the community to work in working teams, to start forming working teams towards some objectives. So it was important to find a group that works in how to handle the risk of the collaterals that want to be part of the protocol. It was important also to start like helping the community to understand how to maintain the smart contracts of the protocol. It was also important to help the community in general to start understanding more about Maker so they can like be more interested about it and create their own groups, their own working groups. It was also the time when we thought, okay, if we are going to have these processes led by the community, we have to find a way so the community can propose it to the governance, and we can all vote for that. That was when we created these maker improvement proposals, all the framework, and how the governance cycle will going to work. And then we said, okay, now that we are going to have everything in the hands of the community, there are going to be a lot of proposals, we need delegators. And this is coming. So when I was reading this, because when I was preparing the presentation, I was reading this and I thought, oh wow, like in April 2020, we were preparing what's happening now. So these working groups are now a reality by core units. Now we have different core units that take care of all the things that the Maker protocol needs. We have the MIPS, we have a framework to create proposals, we have a governance process that we all understand, and we can propose things to modify the protocol or to improve it. And now we are working in the Maker delegates because we want to have a more high participation of the Maker holders in all these governance decisions. So at the beginning of this year, using the MIPS framework, it was created the core unit framework, so anyone who wants, and that's open for anyone. If you want to collaborate with MakerDAO, you just have to write a proposal. If you want to write a proposal and you don't know how to do it, just let me know. I will be happy to help you. And now I'm an expert creating MIPS. So you can create a MIP, post your proposal in the forum, you can get voted, and you can start working for the DAO, which I think is super great. That's like a total decentralization. During this year, the foundation also launched Liquidations 2.0, which was like a super important part of the protocol, and that was like the last thing the foundation wanted to give to the community. And as a last step that I know you all heard about was when the foundation returned the 84,000 Maker to MakerDAO, just because. And this is interesting because the foundation didn't ask for anything or didn't told the community, okay, these Maker tokens are for this thing. No, it's like just the foundation has to disappear. We have this. In the treasury, it belongs to the DAO. We don't have to have that. So that's cool. So how are things today? Today is like, I don't know, it's a lot of work because we don't have that much, that many core units as we need. So we are working a lot. We are discovering how it is to work together without having a foundation telling us what to do. So that is great because we have a lot of freedom. We can be as creative as we want. We can propose whatever we want, and to have this coordinated work between core units, we have to be transparent. And I think that's the most important part of becoming a DAO. You have to be transparent, and that is also good for all of you, for all the MakerDAO users, because you can trust in what you see. And I think that's part of why we are creating things on Ethereum. So by now, there are 9 accepted core units. This is like how the forum looks like, but you will know because after this presentation, you'll go to forum.makerdao.com and see what we are doing. My core unit is growth. Part of my team is here, and we are all looking to make Maker even better. We are proposing a lot of things that maybe during the foundation we couldn't because it was difficult because of the liability that the foundation represented for the protocol. But now we are like super creative and proposing a lot of things to the DAO, which is fun because we are like giving all this feedback that we hear outside from our partners, from the ecosystem, from the traditional finance companies that want to do something with DeFi. We are bringing all this feedback and talking with the risk core unit, with the protocol engineering core unit, and with other core units to work together and improve the protocol. It's not as fast as other DAOs that you're seeing, because other DAOs now probably they have a central like a foundation that helps all the core units to understand what are next steps. In our case, we don't have that, because that's the part of being completely decentralized. We don't have someone telling us where to go. We are all deciding through the scientific governance what is the next steps that MakerDAO has to achieve to grow even more. We have an open discussion, so this is great. Like last week, it was the 150 governance call, which is open to anybody, to everyone. Today we have our governance call. It's on Thursday. So we are in this call discussing everything about Maker. And we are getting paid directly through governance, which I also think is super cool. Like the DAO pays for our salaries and for all the budget we need to run the business. So we are using DAI to pay for salaries, to pay for contributors, to pay for service providers, to help MakerDAO to grow. So I think that's part of the vision. We are really using DAI to run the MakerDAO business, and everything is made through a governance process in a transparent way. So that's it. This is the forum website, forum.makerdao.com, and the other one is where you can vote if you have Maker tokens. You can see all the open proposals and vote for the ones you like and the ones you don't. So I invite you to participate in the community to help us to improve and to help us to make Maker even more bigger than it is now. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Danielle. I work at Shapeshift, and we're working on moving from the centralized model to the decentralized model. And I think one of the biggest questions for our employees that I hope you can elaborate on is the paid per project and per proposal versus like the paid per salary part. And how did you overcome that at the beginning? Like, is it more project-based, or do you have workstream leaders where it's salary-based and they work constantly? And can you go into that a little bit more? Thank you.
Yeah, well, the MIP for creating core units is super flexible. And actually, you can also propose another type of contributor if you think that MIP doesn't fit for what you're looking for. But as for now, we have the two models. Like the core units are more oriented to be like business providers for the MakerDAO. So if you are a group of developers, you are going to contribute to the DAO, not by project, but contribute to the DAO because there are always a lot of things to do. Same for risk, same for growth. But we also have a core unit, SES, and they provide grants to people who want to contribute to the DAO, but based by project. So they are the ones who are helping the DAO to organize that process. But of course, if you don't want to go through SES, and this is the beauty of decentralization, you can propose yourself as, okay, I know how to do this. I think MakerDAO needs to improve in this. I want to do it. You present a proposal. Tell us what your budget is, tell us what your credentials are, and you have to convince the Maker holders and the community, and that's it. So this is super open and flexible.
What do you think is more effective?
I don't think, this is a good question. I don't think DAOs are effective. DAOs are a mess. DAOs are for like create things, and I don't know. It's not effective. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Makoto from ENS, and the question is more kind of real-world legal implication that for anything touches legal one, like which unit is in charge, or is it per individual? So for prime example is, for example, MakerDAO.com. Someone has to punch in credit card number. Does it belong to some random contributor who make a MIP, or does it actually belong to the core unit, which, and also, or is it even company? How does that work over the kind of legal mapping?
Okay, well, same answer. I think we don't have an answer for that. We are discovering how to handle all legal things. We know that if we are a decentralized entity, it will be easy to reduce liabilities for the protocol, because that's our main objective, the protocol. But you're increasing liabilities for core units and individual contributors. So each core unit, for now, has to find a way to reduce those liabilities. And each core unit is doing what they think is best. And we like that approach, because we don't want to impose a core unit what to do. We want them to come with a proposal and just try it out. But also SES. SES is an interesting core unit because they are helping to bootstrap all these other core units that are going to be helping MakerDAO. So they can give you like a set of guidelines, but at the end, you have the freedom to do whatever you think is best for you. We all recommend core units that you should be incorporated somewhere. You should have like legal advisors, but we don't tell core units what to do.
Yeah. So currently, it is again MakerDAO.com belongs to MakerDAO Foundation as of now.
For now,
yeah.
Yes, but it's in the process of being delegated, maybe to a core unit, maybe to, we don't know. That will be up to Maker governance.
And then you guys may make new company, like core unit could become its own legal entity, but
Yes.
you don't know yet.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. What's SES? Linka, what's SES? It's one of the core units that was voted and accepted by Maker governance, and I'm not the best person to tell you what it is about, because I think it deserves its own presentation. So you can just reach out to Lenka and she will tell you all about.
Who is the key holders to the endowment you now have at MakerDAO, and who are the people that are actually paying the contributors, and what's to stop them from making payment to someone else?
Oh, they can pay to someone else. Like if you are voted, you will receive the budget from the protocol.
No, but I mean, what if someone who is the person that's actually doing the transactions to pay the people?
Oh no, it is all by smart contracts.
It's all
like
by smart
you go,
contracts.
yes, it goes to an executive vote. Maker holders vote. If you are voted, then the smart contract will send DAI to an address.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, I've been a fan of MakerDAO for a long time. This sounds like this requires even more voting than we used to have to vote for. So I haven't been in the loop for a while. Is there any plans to make like, so we don't have to spend so much gas voting?
Well, we think delegators will help us with that, but also we are open for ideas. Like we all suppose that delegators will solve it. We don't know. We will know when we start with that model. But we are also like open to hear ideas, proposals, and yes, we don't know if that will work. We hope so.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.